Okay, I'm back on the street making videos again, so yeah, sorry about the noise and the cars and everything else, but today we're going to talk about the floor and how I did the floor in my Vauxhall Movano campervan conversion. So, if you haven't already seen my video of me stripping out the van and cleaning it and doing all of that, then you might want to check that out first to see how I got started. But once I did all of that, it was time to start thinking about the floor, and luckily the floor that I took out, that you can see in that video, was in fairly decent, not decent condition, but it was in one piece and it was a pretty good fit in the van, so I was able to use that to help me measure out the floor that I've now got in here. So I used OSB boards because it was much cheaper than ply. I managed to use 2 boards in the end, so I just did a little bit of maths, doubted my maths at times. Is that what we wanted to do? But worked out that if I used the old boards and measured them in a couple different ways, cut these ones slightly differently, then I could do it with 2 boards instead of 3. So I was really pleased with the fit. It fit great. You could barely even see the seams. I was dead chuffed. But before I fixed that down, I needed to insulate in some way, and if you haven't already seen my insulation video where I insulate my whole van with yoga mats, then you might want to check out that video. It's slightly controversial, but maybe slightly genius. Time will tell. But I kind of ran out of the yoga mats that I was using for the walls, so I actually just bought a much cheaper carpet underlay. Because I used a pretty thick OSB board, and I'm going to have different flooring on top of that, I didn't feel like I needed a super thick floor insulation, so I just went with that snug, cheap carpet underlay and rolled all of that out across the floor and all around the bits of metal that were sort of at the bottom of the walls. So then I just put the OSB boards back in. I didn't actually fix them down with any screws or anything, they are literally just in by weight, and because they were such a snug fit, I did a good job of the cutting. So yeah, after that it was just choosing what kind of floor I wanted in the living space and what I was going to have under the bed in the garage space. So I actually decided to mix up a little bit and have something a bit more hard-wearing in the back, just because I know that I'm going to have all of my outdoor gear in here, little climbing stuff and pedal boards and like you name it. It's going to get pretty filthy and scratched and everything else. So a little shout out to Proud Mary Camper. I saw that they'd used a really good sort of looking heavy duty rubber mat in their underbed space, so dropped out a message and she was super helpful, and I think it was actually, I bought it on eBay in the end. I can't remember if that's the same place that they bought theirs, but yeah, it's worked super well. So not having the floor fixed down already made this super easy, because I was able to take pieces out, trace it around, cut the rubber matting and then kind of roll it back out into position. So that worked really well, and I'm really pleased with it. And I just sort of spray glued it down, and it is quite heavy, so it kind of almost sticks, it like weighs itself down. So that was pretty good. But then after laying the rubber mat in the back, I did kind of just keep looking at the sort of rusty, dirty, like bit of metal by the bumper and the door clips, and I just wasn't super happy with it. It just looked a bit messy, and that naked wood edge as well. So I went a little bit rogue and just painted it all black with Hammerite. I treated all the rust before, but it didn't get rid of it totally, so it was sort of just drying rusty each time. So yeah, Hammerited the whole lot, and I'm really pleased with how it looks. Actually, it looks really smart. All of this under space is going to be black, so yeah, really tidy. And then in the living space, I really wanted like a mid oak colour, but one of, I can't remember if it was I think it was on Facebook Marketplace actually, saw not far down the road, had loads of laminate spare from their kitchen, just for £5, and it was like more than enough to do the space. So when I looked at it, and I actually kind of liked it. So this is what I've used. It's kind of like a grey, it's a dark brown / grey colour laminate, and I wasn't super sold on it, and I kind of told myself, well, it's £5, I can just replace it if I don't like it. But the more I kind of looked at it, and the way that the sun hits it, the sun's almost gone away, so you're not really sure what I was trying to show you there, but yeah, it grew on me, and so this is what I've used. It is just laminate and slots together. If I just grab this other piece, I can show you. Literally just, what am I trying to do here? Upside down, there we go. Oh, just winded myself. It literally just slots like that, and it creates that little seam. So yeah, that's all there is to it, but I did stagger it and then put some different pieces in just to make it look a little bit more natural. But it really was as easy as that, and then just cut the pieces. But yeah, that is literally how I did the floor, as easy as that.